Hello, it's me, Crazy Ginger 8910, and welcome to my top 10 new series Doctor Who episodes. This list is only for episodes that have aired from 2005 until the present. At this point I should say that this list is my personal opinion, and I'm aware that people may disagree, but if you're new to Doctor Who and are looking for some good episodes to watch, but don't know where to start, this may be the thing to help you. There will be minor spoilers for each episode, but nothing too major about the outcome of the plots. You have been warned. So, without further ado, kicking off at number 10 is Human Nature and the Family of Blood. This two-part episode starring the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant, and Martha Jones, played by Freema Agyeman, were the 8th and 9th episodes of Series 3. This episode shows the Doctor being hunted by a family of blood. They are hunting him down to gain the Doctor's lives, in their quest to live forever. They gain a vortex manipulator, meaning they can follow him and Martha anywhere they go. The Doctor has no other option but to use his chameleon arch to change his biology. The Doctor becomes human, with no memory of his real life, all to try and stop the family from finding him. His true self is then hidden inside a fob watch, so that once the family die in a few months, Martha can convince the human Doctor to open the watch, thus becoming the Doctor again. Simple enough, but when the watch goes missing, the Doctor in human form falls in love with the school nurse. And the family of blood getting ever closer, it's all up to Martha to save the day. This is truly a brilliant piece of writing and has all the elements of an amazing episode of Who. It has suspense, comedy, love, action, and of course it wouldn't be Doctor Who without a scare or two. David and Freema are on top form throughout the two episodes with an excellent supporting cast, really making this episode all the more fantastic. At number 9, Blink. You were probably expecting to see Blink on this list at some point, with it being such a fan favourite, but you may have expected it to be higher than number 9. Although there is no doubt that this is truly one of the best Doctor Who episodes, and it certainly delivers on the scare factor possibly more than any other episode of Who in its long history, it is a Doctor Light episode. And for me, it seems to miss a little something. As much as I love the characters of Sally Sparrow and Larry Nightingale, and their character development throughout the story, I feel there is a little something missing for this episode to be higher on the list. This story takes place in present-day London and centres around the characters of Sally Sparrow, a young woman who stumbles across the one house on planet Earth she should never enter. Upon entering, she discovers a message to her, from the Doctor, in the past. The message warns her of the weeping angels in the house. She leaves, but later returns with her best friend in tow. But after her friend disappears in the house, and she receives a letter from her telling her that she is alive and in the past, and subsequently has died, she carries out her one final wish and tells her brother that she won't be around. Upon returning to the house for a third time with Larry to put an end to their situation, they discover the real danger of the situation they are now trapped in. At number 8, Dalek. This is a truly brilliant story and the perfect way to introduce the Daleks to a whole new generation of children. It was brilliantly written, superbly acted, and overall making one of the best new series Dalek stories. This episode, starring Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor and Billie Piper as Rose Tyler, not only introduces the Daleks in a perfect way, but also gives us a bit of information about what the Doctor has been up to in the previous years he has been off our screens. When the Doctor gets a distress call and he and Rose land in a secret alien museum owned by billionaire Henry Van Statten, the Doctor discovers exactly what called him there when he finds out what Van Statten is hiding in his vaults. But when the creature from the vaults escapes to pursue its one purpose in life, to exterminate, how far will the Doctor go to stop it? At number 7, it's The Impossible Planet and Satan's Pit. This excellent, very creepy, spooky episode is set on a rickety old space base on a planet suspended next to a black hole. The Doctor and Rose arrive and discover one impossible thing after another. When a member of the crew gets possessed, he slowly starts attempting to kill off the crew one by one. In an attempt to understand the planet they are on, and how it isn't being pulled into the black hole, the Doctor and the crew member Ida Scott travel down to the power source under the ground. But when they arrive and discover a deep dark pit, the Ood are taken over by an unknown force, making them kill, and our heroes are separated by an individual and deadly threat. Does the key to solving all their problems lie within the Satan's pit? At number 6, The End of Time Part 1 and 2. This episode is by no means perfect. There are one or two flaws, but overall that does not distract from the overall feel of the episode. Although there are some dodgy moments, no one can deny that David Tennant, Bernard Cribbins, John Sims and all the cast are on top form, as well as resolving some big plot points through Russell T Davies' era, and of course some very heartfelt moments. This episode is the 10th Doctor's last episode and centres around the Doctor tracking down the newly resurrected Master before he causes chaos on Earth. The Master is later kidnapped by a foolish millionaire in his attempt to repair an alien piece of medical equipment to make his daughter live forever. But when the Master hacks and changes the equipment settings and turns the entire human race into versions of himself, the Doctor's imminent death is just waiting around the corner, and the one thing the Doctor could have never expected returning through the dark. What fate awaits the Doctor, the Master, and the entire human race? At number 5, The Stolen Earth and Journey's End. This episode finally brings together all the spin-off shows and characters Doctor Who has produced since its revival back in 2005 for the first time. Not only does Torchwood, Sarah Jane, Unit, Rose and the Doctor and Donna all come together, there is a vast evil lurking in the shadows, an ancient enemy of the Doctor's, and one of his most equal opponents. When the Doctor and Donna travel to Earth but discover that it has gone missing, they travel to the Shadow Proximation for help. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the Daleks have taken Earth captive. A small rebellion begins its fight back, but at the cost of how many lives? When the Doctor and his friends on Earth finally manage to contact each other, they discover the true threat of the situation that awaits them, and with Sarah Jane surrounded by Daleks, Torchwood invaded, Unit being slaughtered, and the Doctor only being moments from death and about to regenerate, what will happen next? At number 4, Rise of the Cybermen, The Age of Steel. This for me is by far the best Cyberman story of the new series so far. It's tense, spooky, scary, and feels very gory without showing any blood. The superbly written two-part story from Series 2 was the new series' introduction to the Cybermen, which does not disappoint. This two-part episode centres around the Doctor, Rose and Mickey being stranded on a parallel Earth when the TARDIS falls out of the vortex. In this parallel world, the dying man John Lumic is developing a way for human brains to survive after death inside a metal armour. But when he is denied clearance to legally continue with his work, he uses the homeless to illegally continue his work to ensure that he himself will never die. When enough prototypes have been created, Lumic sends out his children into the world to begin the upgrade of every human to cyberform. And with the Doctor, Rose and Mickey surrounded in the centre of the invasion of Cybermen, how will they stop Lumic? At number 3, Utopia, The Sound of Drums and The Last of the Time Lords. This is the 3-part final to Series 3. This not only brings back the Master, but also reunites Captain Jack with the Doctor for the first time since the parting of the ways. This episode is written perfectly. The pacing, the emotion, the action all fits together to create 3 amazing episodes. When the Doctor and Martha arrive in Cardiff for a pit stop, an old friend is waiting, and wanting answers from the Doctor. Not wanting to hang around, they take off, but they get an unwanted guest, which results in the TARDIS flying to the end of the universe in an attempt to shake off its unwanted guest. When they arrive, they discover a run-down silo holding the last humans, waiting to escape the end of everything. The rocket in which they hope to escape is in somewhat need of attention and a lot of work. After years of attempting to repair it, Professor Yana has almost given up. When the Doctor arrives, and with the help of Captain Jack manages to get the rocket working, Professor Yana's deepest secret is revealed, from a watch. When the Professor realizes who he really is, he is hell-bent on revenge. But when the Master returns, all hell breaks loose. At number 2, Bad Wolf, The Parting of the Ways. This is the 2-part series final to the first series back in 2005. This, for me, is a truly brilliant piece of writing, with the Daleks at their most dangerous and scary in the new series. Christopher Eccleston, Billie Piper and John Barrowman are all on top form as usual, and the pacing, effects, emotion and storytelling all come together to create one of my all-time favourite episodes of Doctor Who. This episode starts with the Doctor, Rose and Captain Jack all being teleported into different game shows, which all end one way. Death. While the Doctor is escaping from his deadly game show, Captain Jack is doing much of the same, whereas Rose intends to play her game until the end, to win. But by the time the Doctor and Jack can track her down, she has already lost the game. She is obliterated into dust. By the time the Doctor, Jack and Linda escape from custody and find the people in control of the game station, the Doctor not only discovers exactly where he is, and also who's in control of Satellite 5, the one race he fought will finally destroyed rise from the ashes of war to wreak their vengeance upon the Doctor, planet Earth, and the entire universe. Before I reveal number 1, here are a few honourable mentions that just missed the list. Rose, The Girl in the Fireplace, Voyage of the Damned, Midnight, The Waters of Mars, The 11th Hour, Vincent and the Doctor, Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, The Angels Take Manhattan, The Time of the Doctor. And without further ado, at number 1, it's the big episode, the celebration of 50 years. Of course, it's The Day of the Doctor. Now, some people may be surprised by this, maybe even disagree, but for me, this really does sum up what a wonderful show Doctor Who really is. It's not without its flaws, as it is with any episode, but for me, this episode gets 10 out of 10. This movie-length episode has brilliant acting, fabulous writing, amazing special effects, and has lots of little nods to the past 50 years, as well as finally showing us the Time War, and what happened in the final day. We had 3 brilliant Doctors in this episode, the 11th Doctor played by Matt Smith, 10th Doctor played by David Tennant, and the War Doctor played by the legendary John Hurt. We also had Jenna Coleman playing Clara Oswald, and the return of Billie Piper playing The Moment in Bad Wolf form, as well as 2 very special cameos during the episode. This episode centres around the final day of the Time War. The War Doctor possesses the Moment, a weapon capable of ending the war, but only by destroying his people along with the Daleks. The Moment brings the War Doctor together with the 10th Doctor and 11th Doctor, his future selves, to show him the man he will become if he destroys Gallifrey. But with the Zygons invading UNIT's Black Archive, the war still raging across Gallifrey, and the Doctor having to make the hardest decision of his entire life, how far will the Doctor go to stop the Daleks? And there we have it, my top 10 new series Doctor Who episodes. Thank you for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment your favourite new series episodes below. There will be a top 10 classic Doctor Who video sometime in the near future. Once again, thank you for watching, and bye for now.